Sometimes people turn to shoplifting to meet their needs or desires. While they might have their reasons, there are usually better solutions for financial or personal problems, wouldn't you agree? Well, the shoplifters we're about to introduce you to are about to learn that the hard way, once they find themselves in handcuffs. Here are 5 times when shoplifters think they're above the law. Number 5. Sister duo on a shoplifting spree. While the annals of criminal history boast infamous pairs like Bonnie and Clyde and numerous other partners in crime, allow me to introduce you to Shantia and her sister, a duo with a penchant for shoplifting luxury items. It's a different kind of partnership, but one that often leads to a rendezvous with the law, just like the notorious duos of the past. On July 17, 2023, officers from the Millburn Township Police Department in New Jersey received a call about a shoplifting incident at the Burberry store in the Short Hills Mall. According to the store, 2 females have allegedly shoplifted merchandise and left without paying. The employees described the items taken by the shoplifters.
What did they take specifically?
2 next weeks, pink truckers, bathing suit, and a black shirt with blue face on it.
So,
upon arriving at the scene, the officers are directed by store staff to the Louis Vuitton store, where they believe the 2 females are currently located. Store staff quickly point out the 2 women to the officers, setting the stage for a confrontation. One of the suspects is identified as Shantia Williams. The officer asks her if she took off with some items from the Burberry store.
leave with anything?
No.
So you're saying any footage that I just saw?
You didn't see me leave with anything.
Man, just so you know, I'm gonna read your rights real quick.
No, listen, you didn't see.
The woman, caught off guard, blatantly denies it.
We walked out together. I asked him for the bathing suit. He checked and saw, and he couldn't order it the next day, so I was like,
And even tells the officer to review the surveillance footage.
A pink bathing suit?
Pink bathing suit bottom?
No, you can look on the camera. I never left with nothing. Yeah, I'm very safe. You can look.
The officers do review the footage, which reveals Shantia's actions. She's seen concealing a shirt and bathing suit bottoms valued at a combined $1,090 by stuffing them into her pants.
And stuffs it in her pants.
Realizing the police are onto her, Shantia ditches these items in the Louis Vuitton store.
It's ours.
That's yours? Were they trying to grab it from here?
From us.
Okay. Do you guys have that on camera here?
These are Burberry. Yeah, do you want to go with him to the back to see the cameras?
During the investigation, the officers discover a Louis Vuitton belt valued at $690, which Shantia had placed back on the shelf. Shantia is arrested and taken to police headquarters for processing.
You put in your pants. It's all on video.
My pants?
Yes, ma'am.
I have nothing in my pants.
All right, well, when we get down?
Like, that's crazy.
Well,
Just get my phone.
Despite evidence to the contrary, Shantia continues to deny any wrongdoing and portrays herself as the victim.
I put it in my pants. I'm on my period. Like I had a big bloody pants.
No, I understand, but there's cameras like literally on every little corner of this mall.
Yeah, I get
That's how we knew you.
She was asked for her information and ID, but doesn't provide any because she says she isn't from the area. Her excuses don't fly, and the police take her into custody.
That's what I'm telling y'all. I didn't have to I'm telling you, it was in the chair. So that's what I'm saying.
The second female, who had played a role in distracting a Burberry employee during the theft, is not charged immediately. However, she's later released after her probation officer is notified of the police contact, a reminder of the ongoing consequences of such actions.
Okay. All right. I mean, so what's the term of your probation? When you come into contact with law enforcement, you have to let them know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you didn't
November, Charlie Joe.
The officers discuss the potential charges with the store employees, including the value of the stolen items.
Like a fake receipt with the SKU number, value, and the UPC on it?
can you call Audrey?
And then real quick, I just need to take a picture.
We're talking thousands of dollars here, folks. She didn't hold back one bit when she went on her shoplifting spree, setting her sights on some premium items from none other than Burberry and Louis Vuitton. These aren't your everyday steals. They're high-end, top-shelf goodies. It makes you wonder what went through her mind as she snatched these items. Did she have a penchant for designer fashion? Or was it simply a case of seizing an irresistible opportunity? In an unexpected twist, the officers stumble upon something unusual when searching the patrol vehicle that transported Shantia. Hidden in her shoe they find a magnetic security tag remover, a device typically employed to illicitly remove security tags from merchandise.
Like magnet.
What you mean? It was in my shoe. I didn't even know it came out.
Okay. What do you have it for?
I own a boutique.
It's quite remarkable how far some shoplifters will go to pull off a theft, only to find themselves caught in the end. Shantia owns up to the device and claims she used it for a boutique she supposedly runs in Maryland. The officers give her one last chance to be honest about any other stolen items concealed on her person. They mention that a female officer will perform a pat-down, and if anything else turns up, the consequences will be even more serious.
You have anything else stuffed anywhere? Because you're going to be searched by a female. They find it then, you're going to get in more trouble. So,
Shantia faces multiple charges, including 2 counts of shoplifting from Burberry and Louis Vuitton, possession of an anti-shoplifting device, and hindering apprehension for giving false information to a law enforcement officer. Despite the seriousness of these charges, she's released pending a court date. Will Shantia finally learn from her mistakes and stop shoplifting? Or will she opt for less valuable items next time? Joking aside, let's hope these 2 sisters in crime turn their attention to their boutique in Maryland and leave their shoplifting habits behind. Breaking those habits won't be easy, but with determination and support, they might just find a better path forward. Here's hoping they choose a more honorable route and build a brighter future. Number 4. Sandwich Snatcher. Now let's shift our focus to a rather unusual case. We've all heard of shoplifters going after clothes, pricey merchandise, or even cash, but have you ever come across a sandwich snatcher? Yes, you heard that right, a sandwich. Check this out. In this scenario, our suspect didn't set his sights on pricey merchandise or wads of cash. No, he had his eye on something far more unusual, a sandwich. But he didn't just sneak it into a bag or pocket, no. He grabbed it right off the shelf and took a bite right then and there. He probably believed that by devouring the evidence, he could make it disappear, and the employees in the store wouldn't see him stealing it. But he was in for a rude awakening. Little did he know that his sandwich tasting session would come to a screeching halt. Before he could finish the whole thing, the long arm of the law caught up with him, proving that you can't just eat your way out of a sticky situation, especially when it comes to shoplifting. It's a regular evening, just before 9:30 p.m. on June 20th. Closing time is approaching at a local Target store, but there's a bit of a situation. A guy inside the store isn't keen on leaving, despite the employee's efforts. To handle the matter, a vigilant Target employee sought help from an off-duty Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police officer. When approached by the off-duty officer, the suspect shows no intention of complying with requests to leave the store.
So what I need you to do is start working more toward the front.
This refusal to cooperate prompts the officer to call for backup, indicating the situation is escalating beyond his control. As more officers arrive on the scene, there's an undercurrent of concern that the incident might be related to mental health issues.
I think he's a mental health issue.
It's comforting to see the officers taking into account the possibility of underlying problems and trying to handle the situation with care. The officers once again confront the suspect who stole a sandwich and tell him to leave the store.
So what I need you to do is start working more toward the front. Take the bag off.
The off-duty officer informs the suspect that he cannot eat food he hasn't paid for.
I'll place you under arrest for theft. Yes, you just stole this food. You didn't pay.
It's clear they're giving him multiple chances to resolve the situation peacefully. Despite repeated warnings that the store is closed and he needs to leave, the suspect remains defiant, taking another bite of the sandwich and refusing to put it down. The situation escalates to an arrest for stealing.
I don't want to do this, but put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back, sir.
It's unfortunate that what could have been a simple exit from the store has turned into a situation involving the police. The suspect's refusal to comply with the officer's directions leads to a physical struggle. Even with his hands already in cuffs, the suspect still clings to that sandwich, ignoring multiple requests from the officer to put it down.
Sir,
what?
Please.
You have spray.
Can you please?
Sir, do me a favor.
Let go of the sandwich.
It's almost comical how his determination to keep the sandwich takes precedent over avoiding arrest. Priorities, right? It makes you wonder what kind of sandwich it was. As the police officers make their move, he goes to great lengths to avoid cooperating, claiming his arm is injured just so he can keep eating his sandwich without putting his arms behind his back.
Behind your back.
Put it back. Sir, put the sandwich down. Sir, I'm not. But you need to put your hand behind your back. Sir.
His determination to enjoy that sandwich knows no bounds. Even though the officers aren't causing any harm to his arm, he continues to resist and repeats the same excuses.
You're gonna break my arm. No, I'm not. Let the sandwich go. Sir, just let it go.
I still have you about the you want to see the what?
Following his apprehension, the suspect complains of neck, shoulder, and wrist discomfort. As a result, he's transported to the hospital for medical evaluation and is eventually released. It's quite the sandwich saga, don't you think? Number 3. Cop shows compassion for shoplifter. In this unique case, we're about to witness a different kind of interaction between law enforcement and a suspected shoplifter. The scenario unfolds in a store and revolves around a woman suspected of concealing items in her coat. However, what sets this apart is the way the approaching officer handles the situation, with a remarkable balance of firmness and compassion. Get your tissues ready. This may just tug at your heartstrings and leave you with some tears in your eyes. The officer approaches the suspected shoplifter and begins by asking if she has any items in her coat.
Hi, ma'am. Do you have stuff in your coat right now?
No.
No? Okay. Employees said they saw you stuff from your basket.
This initial questioning is based on the store employee's observation of her putting items from her basket into her jacket. The woman, caught off guard, denies having any items in her coat. She explains that she intended to meet her other half at the store, but since he didn't show up, she puts all the stuff back. She even mentions trying to call this person, perhaps in an attempt to validate her story.
No, I just went and I just put all my stuff back because I was supposed to meet my other half here and he never showed up. I just tried calling him, actually.
Okay, so if we search your jacket...
The officer offers her a chance to come clean and take out any items she might have concealed in her jacket. Store employees chime in, letting her know that if she cooperates, they won't press any charges.
I'll give you an opportunity right now to take everything out. But it's going to be your one and only opportunity.
If you take everything out right now, we won't even press charges. We'll just give you no trespass.
It takes the woman a solid minute to think it over, and maybe she realizes how serious this could get. Eventually, she decides to take the items out of her jacket.
I have a hat and gloves.
All right, there we go.
When asked for information, like her address,
do you have an address that you stay at? No.
And whether she's employed, the woman sadly responds that she doesn't have work and doesn't have any money. She simply wanted a hat and a pair of gloves to keep her warm.
Are you working anywhere, Jamie?
No, it's just cold outside. I don't have any money and I just wanted a hat and gloves.
I get it, but you can't be stealing it, okay?
The officer, though understanding of her situation, advises her against stealing, emphasizing the importance of not resorting to theft even in tough situations.
Okay? I know it's tough, but there's other ways. Call us for help, all right? But if you come back in here, you're going to get arrested.
The officer proceeds to ask if she has any other items hidden in her coat. The woman denies this.
Do you have anything else on you? Just that and gloves? Because if they check cameras and they find anything else, then it's going to turn into a theft charge.
And it appears that the situation might escalate to a typical arrest. However, what happens next is unexpected. In an incredible act of kindness, the officer chooses to purchase the items for her.
You don't have hat or gloves? I'll buy these for her.
Thank you, serious. Thank you.
But don't do this, okay?
This goes beyond simple preventing her from stealing. It's a powerful display of empathy and understanding. While warning her not to engage in theft again, the officer also advises her to seek help if necessary.
Don't do this, okay? I know it's tough, but there's other ways. Call us for help, all right? But if you come back in here, you're going to get arrested.
Showing genuine concern that extends beyond his role as a law enforcement officer. They both make their way to the checkout counter, and the woman gratefully collects the items the officer bought for her. As they wait in line, the officer takes a moment to emphasize the importance of not resorting to theft, especially considering her current situation on bond.
Thank you so much.
Again, it's cold, but $947 ain't worth, you know, especially like if you're out on bond and stuff.
The woman, with ears still chilly from the cold, briefly shares her discomfort, but quickly acknowledges that it's not an excuse for her actions. The officer, maintaining a compassionate tone, reassures her that there are resources available to help people in need, hinting at the support systems and organizations that can provide assistance during tough times.
I get it.
It's not an excuse, but
I get it. But you know, call us for help. We have resources we can help you out with. You know, every contact with us doesn't have to be a bad thing.
The woman heads off, and the officer wraps up the discussion with the store employees.
All right, Jamie, don't come back, okay? All right. Do you guys need anything else from us?
No, thank you.
Okay.
This incident is a reminder that behind every act of shoplifting, there might be a story of struggle or need. The officer's approach suggests that understanding these stories can be as important as enforcing the law. His actions demonstrate that law enforcement can play a role in not just deterring crime, but also in offering support and guidance to those who might be facing difficult circumstances. What a heartwarming story. It's not easy to admit when you're wrong, especially when you're in the woman's position, but she handled it gracefully and was completely honest with the officer. Speaking of the officer, he truly has a heart of gold. Instead of jumping to arrest the woman right away, he took the time to listen to her story and even went the extra mile to buy her the hat and gloves to keep her warm. As for the woman, while she's undoubtedly grateful for the officer's kindness, she probably also learned a valuable lesson that no one is above the law and that stealing is never the way to go. Hopefully, she takes the officer's advice to heart and gets the help she needs. It's a beautiful reminder that compassion and understanding can make a world of difference in someone's life. Number 2. The Great Retail Heist. Did you ever imagine police chases happening in real life and not just in the movies? Well, get a load of this chase. It went down in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, not for a Hollywood-style kidnapping or some hostage situation, but because of shoplifting at a Dick's Sporting Goods store. What was supposed to be a routine arrest took an unexpected turn, leading to a high-stakes chase. So did these suspects make a clean getaway and hole up somewhere safe, just like in the movies? Let's dig into the story and find out. On October 4th, police are alerted to a theft at a local retail store. An officer quickly locates the suspect's vehicle.
Go back up 46. What's your train? Yeah, you can clear.
But the situation escalates as the driver, identified as Dariana Anderson, refuses to stop.
Traffic medium.
What follows is a high-speed chase along the interstate, a dangerous endeavor that puts both the officers and the public at risk. Anderson stops her vehicle behind another car but remains defiant, refusing to comply with the officer's commands to exit the vehicle.
Driver of the Camry, roll all your windows down now.
106 is 1060.
This standoff prompts the officer to call for backup. The tension is real as the police prepare for any eventuality, setting up stop sticks to prevent Anderson from fleeing again.
Sticks in front of the vehicle right now.
With the police cornering them from all sides, one can't help but wonder about the conversations taking place inside the car. Why didn't they simply stop and surrender? Did they believe they could outrun the police? It's a perplexing situation, to say the least. However, Anderson is determined to evade capture. In a sudden move, she throws her car into reverse and speeds off, leading the officers on another chase.
Contact and 146 vehicles taken off again.
The pursuit is relentless, with the police closely following the suspect. In those tense moments when Anderson throws her car in reverse and accelerates away, you can't help but wonder about the mindset of someone who would take such extreme risks. The adrenaline must be surging through her veins as she makes that daring move, knowing full well the consequences she might face if caught. The situation intensifies when Anderson's car begins to emit smoke, and it seems like one of the tires is giving out. Recognizing that the vehicle is no longer a feasible means of escape, Anderson and her accomplices decide to abandon the car and make a run for it on foot.
Into like that old first store.
The pursuit finally comes to an end in a residential area where officers locate Anderson hiding behind a garbage can, thanks to the police canine unit. The canine unit's role is crucial in this scenario, demonstrating the invaluable support these trained dogs provide in law enforcement operations. Hats off to our four-legged heroes. They played a crucial role in ensuring the suspect was found. The officers tell Dariana to kneel down for her arrest.
Where'd you put your phone?
And as they handcuff her, she asks them, "Don't be rough."
Yeah, just confirm that she didn't get bit. Yeah. Contact on body camera. Sure. Sure.
It's kind of surprising to hear that request after putting so many innocent people in danger, don't you think? When the officers ask for her name, Dariana initially refuses to provide it and instead requests water. Her demeanor and body language during the arrest seemed to suggest that she might not fully grasp the seriousness of her actions and the potential consequences that may follow. It's quite puzzling how she can remain so composed after a high-speed chase and putting herself and others in such a risky situation, don't you agree? Anderson now faces a multitude of charges, including eluding an officer and retail theft. Given the gravity of her actions, it's rather surprising that she was released on just a $1,500 cash bond. This decision certainly raises questions about the consequences for individuals involved in such serious offenses. Think about it. She not only led the police on a high-speed chase, ran red lights, and put the entire public in danger, but she essentially secured her release with a relatively modest bond. One can't help but wonder if this is a fair outcome or if she should be facing a much more significant penalty for her actions. What do you think? Well, considering everything that's happened, we can hope that Dariana takes away an important lesson from it all. It's not just about her own safety. It's about the safety of others on the road, too. Sometimes, life has a way of teaching us things the hard way. And maybe this experience will help her realize that, aside from stealing, driving recklessly isn't just about risk to her, but to everyone around. So, fingers crossed that she makes more responsible choices not only behind the wheel, but also in life in general. Number 1. Runaway shoplifter. When brides decide to make a run for it, it's a headline-worthy event, no doubt. But when it comes to shoplifters trying to pull a vanishing act, well, that's a whole different story. Let me tell you, it's quite a show. The video starts with officers entering a Florida Walmart's asset protection office, where a distressed woman is sitting on a bench in tears. Store personnel explain the situation to the officers, presenting surveillance footage.
She went to the register and she just put it inside the bag without scanning it. Alright man, do me a favor, stand up for me.
It appears that this woman was engaged in a rather sneaky scheme. She pretended to pay for items at the self-checkout, but in reality, she didn't scan them at all. Her attempt to leave through the general merchandise entrance was thwarted when Walmart's asset protection officer intercepted her and brought her back to the office. The cops asked the emotional woman to get up for cuffing.
Stand up, I need you to stand up. Here. See the tablet? Put it down. Come on, stand up and turn around. Put your hands behind your back.
She hesitates a bit, but she eventually complies. This sets the stage for what's coming. A mix of her cooperating and putting up a bit of a fight. They guide her to the patrol car for transportation to the station for more questioning. Just before taking a seat, she asks for her medicine, hearing aid, and even a cigarette. Items that provide her immediate comfort and maybe a way to cope with the stress she's facing.
Can I get a cigarette? They said I could have a cigarette.
Once we're doing what we have to do, we will let you get a cigarette. Come on.
Can I get my other hearing aid first, please?
The officers, staying professional, reassure her that she'll get those things once they finish the required procedure. As the officers ask her to take a seat inside the vehicle,
please.
I'm not going to see my daughter.
Come on, the seat is up. You gotta get up, man. You gotta get up.
I know, I am.
Okay.
The woman begins conjuring up various excuses and experiences a complete meltdown, seemingly doing whatever she can to prolong the inevitable. We've all been there, right? That moment when you realize you're about to face the music and you'll do anything to delay it. Eventually, she complies and takes a seat with the officer's assistance, ensuring her safety.
Sit. Sit the right way.
I have anxiety.
You're fine. You're fine.
However, as soon as she's seated, she enters a state of panic.
You're gonna fall.
I can't breathe.
You're gonna fall. Okay.
I have
So
anxiety.
you're fine. I'm gonna let you sit like this. I'm gonna buckle you in after. Just sit down and relax, okay? Just breathe.
Despite the officer's attempts to soothe her, her labored breathing persists, leading them to forgo fastening her seatbelt. To alleviate her anxiety, the officer permits her to smoke a cigarette.
We're gonna let you smoke a cigarette, so we're gonna let you out. Need you to just listen to whatever we say, though.
Okay.
All right.
He even helps her light it up while she's still cuffed.
I'm not gonna take you out of the handcuffs, though.
No, I know.
You got it? Okay. Here, I got you. I'll light it up for you. There you go.
It's worth noting, isn't it? Despite her actions, those officers are displaying genuine compassion. They're looking out for her well-being, even though she's in trouble. As she finally starts to calm down during her cigarette break, she expresses regret, claiming she's sober and acknowledging her mistake.
I've done it. I should've.
That's fine. You're gonna keep your shoes off for now? You're fine right now? You're good?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just want to call.
Okay.
I shouldn't have done it.
Her emotions are raw and real, painting her not just as a suspect, but as a human being with regrets and realization.
Alright, man. Go ahead, take
No,
that.
I'm going on to praying.
However, the situation takes a dramatic turn when the woman attempts to escape.
Sorry.
Hey! Man, stop.
It's a moment of sheer desperation, quickly shut down by the officers. It's a daring attempt that leaves you questioning her thought process. Did she genuinely believe that she could outrun a squad of trained officers, all while handcuffed? It's a head-scratcher for sure, and you can't help but wonder about the split-second decision-making that led to this bold move. The officers guide her back into the patrol car, their demeanor noticeably stricter than before.
We'll let you stay down and smoke, and then you're going to start taking off. Guess what? That's another charge now. Get in. Get in. Step up.
But her actions have changed the officer's perspective, and they no longer show any sympathy, telling her that she's made her situation 10 times worse.
Well, you just made it 10 times worse. Why did you think running was going to be smart?
Their earlier patience and understanding seem to have evaporated. It's like they've reached their breaking point. And who can blame them? They don't mince words when they tell her that she's basically dug herself into a deeper hole. Desperate, she pleads with the officers, insisting she's a good person, and even offering to pay for everything.
I don't want to lose everything. I'm a good girl, please. I just got mixed up with the wrong guy. I'll pay for everything. Why can't I pay for everything?
It makes you pause and wonder, if she truly is the person she claims to be, then why did she resort to shoplifting in the first place? What led her down this path of dishonesty and evasion when a simple solution like paying for her items could have spared her this ordeal? The officers proceed with the arrest, making it clear how seriously they view her actions.
Yeah, that happened, and I'm not talking great.
No, yeah. They guaranteed. With the highest.
Regrettably, for the runaway shoplifter, she's charged with petty theft and resisting without violence, and is ultimately sentenced to 6 months of probation. Lesson learned: unless you happen to be the Flash or possess superhuman strength, don't try to escape from the police. Trying to make a run for it won't do you any favors, and like the officer said, you'll just dig yourself into a deeper hole. And there you have it, folks, the end of our shoplifting saga. A colorful cast of characters who thought they could outsmart the law. While they all eventually faced the music for their misdeeds, there's one story that stands out as a true testament to human kindness, which is, of course, the homeless lady who tried to nab a hat and gloves to fend off the cold. It's hard not to empathize with her plight, and the officer who went the extra mile to help her warmed more than just her hands. He warmed our hearts. But when it comes to unforgettable suspects, there's no denying the woman who tried to make a dramatic escape. Her audacity and sheer determination make her a standout in this shoplifting saga. So which character from our little adventure will take up residence in your memory, staying there rent-free? Also, check out our other stuff showing up on the screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. See you next time.